Welcome to Melinden TV, and welcome to another episode of Like a Girl. This is my series where I satirize the stigma behind the phrase like a girl and the negative connotation associated with doing something like a girl. I do this by dressing up in the most stereotypical girly manner that I can and teaching how to do a practical skill that people don't usually expect girls or women to know how to do. If you'd like the full background and some more details about this series and its motivation, I highly recommend you check out the first video in the series, which I will link right up here. Today, the skill that I'm teaching is how to do a pull-up, and this is definitely something that people don't expect girls and women to know how to do. And it's understandable because men and women have biological differences that make it easier for men to do pull-ups and easier for them to do it in high volume. But it's something that women can definitely learn how to do with training. I asked around in a fitness group that I'm in on Facebook if anyone has ever had an experience where boys were supposed to do pull-ups and girls were supposed to do something else, or men were supposed to do pull-ups and women were supposed to do something else. And a decent amount of people commented saying that they have experienced this at some point in their lives. I went to a mud run OCR called Rugged Maniac a few years ago, and throughout the day they had different contests going on in the festival area, and you could win merch coupons and stuff like that. Well, one of the contests that they had was a pull-up contest. So the men went first, and any men who were interested in competing were supposed to go up to the stage. And there were dozens of men who tried to win this pull-up contest. And they went up and they did however many pull-ups they could do. The winner got a prize. And then it was the women's turn. And they called up every woman who wanted to participate in the pull-up contest, come up onto the stage now, and 3 of us went on stage. And as soon as we got on stage, the MC said, okay, you guys can do chin-ups. And I remember thinking to myself, I came up here to do a pull-up competition, not a chin-up competition. So the men did pull-ups. Why can't the women do pull-ups too? So the first 2 women went, they both did chin-ups. First of all, these are super impressive athletes who could have done at least one pull-up, or else they wouldn't have come up to the stage. And when it was my turn, I did pull-ups. I did do 1 chin-up at the end to get myself an extra rep, but I thought it was important to do pull-ups because that's what the original competition was. And because of it, I lost. And then some other women were commenting when I shared this experience in this group, saying that there was a physical test they had to take for the military where men did pull-ups and women did a flexed arm hang. One person even said that women weren't allowed to do pull-ups at her gym. And when competitions are being planned and when workouts are being programmed, I fully understand that there would be different requirements for men and women. But those requirements should be translated to weights and reps and calories. They should not be doing completely different movements because there is not a single movement that a man can do that a woman cannot. So today I am giving you a little tutorial on how to do a proper pull-up form-wise, and then I also have some modifications. If you do not have your first pull-up yet, you can still work your way up to it and train, and maybe one day you'll get there.
The first thing to get about pull-up form is the proper setup. So when you're standing underneath the bar and you're reaching up to grab the bar, you want your hands to be slightly shoulder width apart. This is going to be different for everyone, the distance that your hands are going to be from each other. In theory, the narrower your grip is, the easier the movement is, and the wider it is, it's a little bit harder of a movement, but you can't go too narrow because then you're not necessarily doing a pull-up at that point. So you're going to have to experiment and see what is a comfortable grip for you. You won't really know until you get to the top of the rep. And then as far as grabbing the bar itself, you want to reach up and the part of your hand where your fingers meet the palm, You want to stick that part right onto the bar and curl your fingers over until you feel like you're getting a good grip without squeezing any of your skin. You don't actually want your palm to be on the bar. You want to be really hanging from your fingers. The reason why is because it's going to be very uncomfortable if you're doing a pull-up from your palm. It's also going to be slipperier. Once your hands are in a comfortable position, take your feet off the ground and go into a full dead hang. If you cannot hang from the bar without your feet touching the ground, then you should adjust your bar or move to a higher bar. But if you're working with limited resources and that's the bar height you have, that's also okay. You'll just need to pick up your feet by bending your knees so that you start each rep in a dead hang. Sometimes I need to go to a bar that's too high and I'll either need to jump in order to get myself into the starting position, or I'll need to step on a box. That's okay too, but ideally you'll start each rep in a dead hang. At this point, you want to keep a tight core, tight shoulders, and squeeze your shoulder blades together and pull the bar toward your collarbone. I say to do that mentally because you don't want to think about your body moving in a straight up and down pattern, or else your arm positioning won't be right, and you'll be using your arms and shoulders a little bit too much and your back not enough. So you want to think about pulling the bar to you instead of actually pulling up. It sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it'll help you a lot with your form. You also don't want to be stretching your neck to get your chin over the bar. You want to pull the bar toward your collarbone, and if you're doing that, then the chin will go over the bar naturally. Once your chin is over the bar, you have reached the top of your rep. At this point, you don't want to just let go of the bar because you could hyperextend your elbows and really hurt yourself. So you want to do a nice controlled return to the starting position, which is a dead hang. This could also be a really good back workout to do negatives. So to lower yourself controlled and slowly back to the starting position is an awesome back workout. You're going to want to keep your core tight throughout the entire movement, and this is to prevent unnecessary swinging or kipping. I see a lot of people doing kipping in their pull-ups. In my eyes, a kipping pull-up is a completely separate movement that we're not doing here. This is a strict pull-up, so you want to keep your core tight and your body minimized in movement. As far as what to do with your legs and your feet, I like to keep my body in kind of like a hollow hold position. So my feet and legs are together. My body is kind of in a scoop shape or a straight up and down shape. One thing I will say is do not cross your legs. It absolutely drives me crazy when people are doing demos, even coaches and trainers performing tutorials and demos, and they cross their legs and their feet. This is not giving your body the best core workout throughout the movement, and also a chiropractor would yell at you for the misalignment that you're doing to your back and your hips. So definitely do not cross your legs. You can bend your knees so that your feet are slightly behind you. You can do a hollow hold position so that your feet are slightly in front of you, or you can be straight up and down with your feet right under you, but don't cross those ankles. If you're not at the point yet where you can do a strict pull-up, this is modification number 1, which is an assisted pull-up. In the video, I have it being done with a resistance band. So what you will do is loop the resistance band around your pull-up bar and stick one foot in the resistance band. I say 1 foot because if you stick 2 feet in the resistance band, it's likely going to slide off of your foot and slap you in the face. Ask me how I know. So to prevent that from happening, you want to make sure the resistance band is nice and secure around your foot. I was lucky in this video because I could just stick it behind my heel, but in a setting where you would actually be wearing proper athletic wear to be practicing your pull-ups, you can put it in the arch of your foot and then kind of squeeze the band and keep it into place with your other foot so that it doesn't snap back and hit you in the face. And once you have your foot secured into the resistance band, you can just do the pull-up the exact same way that I showed in the first set of videos. The form is exactly the same. I talk about using a band here because it's an inexpensive piece of equipment that a lot of people could have access to, but if you go to a gym and your gym does have an assisted pull-up machine, you can also practice your assisted pull-ups there as well. But if you are using a band, I'll just tell you to be careful getting in and out of the band. You don't want to slap yourself in the face. You don't want to get tripped up and fall. I don't want you getting hurt, okay? So just be careful. If modification number 1 is still too hard, you can try modification number 2, which is jumping pull-ups with negatives. So you set yourself up below the bar, put your arms up so that it's ready to grab, and then you just jump. So that way you're getting the momentum to go up the bar, your legs are doing most of the work, but you're letting your back kind of assist your legs in the movement. And then once you're at the top of the rep, you slowly lower yourself down from the bar back to the ground. That movement is called a negative, and it's going to be very helpful in strengthening your back muscles to eventually be able to move up to the next modification. And if you're at the point where you cannot do jumping pull-ups and negatives yet, then modification number 3 would be inverted rows, but I will show that demo a little bit later in the training segment.
Okay, so now here are some things that you can do at the gym that will help you strengthen your back so that you can work toward getting your first pull-up or work toward improving your pull-ups. Me personally, when I was trying to get my first pull-up, I used the assisted pull-up machine at my gym. I know that not all gyms have them, and not all gyms have the one that I prefer. My current gym has an assisted pull-up combination pull-up and dip machine where it kind of like has a cushion and you put your knees on the cushion. And I don't really like that. I like the assisted pull-up machine where you're standing the whole time because I feel like that better simulates how your body would be positioned during an unassisted pull-up. But if your gym has an assisted pull-up machine, I think that'll help you a lot to work toward your first pull-up because that means that you can actually get the form down. I recommend that you start at your body weight in the assist and then try to do 10 pull-ups in a row. And every time you're able to do 10 pull-ups at a certain weight, then you can go down in weight. And as you go down in weight more and more, eventually you'll get to 0, which 0 pounds is an unassisted pull-up. And hey, you're there. You got your first pull-up. Congrats. But if your gym does not have an assisted pull-up machine, or you would just like to strengthen your back muscles as a whole, here are some movements that you can try.
The lat pull-down machine is similar to a pull-up, except it's from a seated position, and you're just going to pull the bar down to your collarbone region, and the closer you get to your body weight on the cables, the closer you are to being able to attempt an unassisted pull-up on your own. Supermans are great because you can do them anywhere. You don't need to have a gym membership or equipment. You just lie face down and lift your arms and legs up off the floor and hold that position. You can also add a row to this movement with a PVC pipe or a broomstick or a dowel. If you're at home, you could use a pillowcase or a hand towel and just hold it taut and do these rows. You'll notice it's kind of like a pull-up motion, just lying on the ground. You can do an inverted row with rings or a bar, body straight, heels on the ground, and then you're going to pull yourself up with your arms really close to your body, elbows tight, and then bring the bar or the rings to your armpit. You can bend your knees if this is a little too hard. The more parallel you are, the harder it is. The more upright you are, the easier it is.
I also wanted to throw in a little something for people who work out at home and don't have access to gym equipment. The Supermans that I showed, you can do those anywhere. I also recommend that if pull-ups are something that you're really trying to work on, you invest in a pull-up bar for your house, even if you have a gym membership. I know that my husband and I bought a pull-up bar from Walmart for about $20 at the beginning of quarantine last year, so that we could at least do a little something while we were at home because we had absolutely no equipment when gyms were closed. So we thought something that would be worth the money was a pull-up bar, and we were right. So it doesn't need to be very expensive. Like I said, ours was $20. You can find them almost anywhere, and you can put it up in a door frame and practice your pull-ups at home. But if you're not willing to spend the money on that, you can definitely do some other movements at home using some stuff that you might have lying around. Like there's a couple of different ways to do inverted rows. For example, you can take a sheet and loop it around a door and close the door, and then you can hold one end of the sheet in each hands and do inverted rows that way with just stuff that you have at home. Another way to do inverted rows I demonstrated in my Arnold Schwarzenegger workout video, and I'm going to link that up here. And what he recommended you do in that video is take two chairs that are identical and you put a broomstick across the back of the chairs, and you can do inverted rows that way. That will also help to strengthen your back muscles if you don't have a gym membership or any equipment. So I really just want to take this opportunity to encourage anyone who works with girls and women. Let them do pull-ups. If you are a coach or you work at a gym or you're a phys ed teacher at a school, let girls do pull-ups. Teach them to do pull-ups instead of making them do a different movement. Having them do a different movement instead of pull-ups is like saying burpees are too hard for women. They can do air squats instead. Air squats are not the same as burpees, just like other movements are not the same as pull-ups. So let's start teaching our girls and women to do pull-ups instead of just telling them, oh, you can do something else. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you found any tips in this video helpful, please leave a comment below on your pull-up journey. I would love to hear about it. Personally, my pull-up journey is still a work in progress. Just because I'm able to do pull-ups now doesn't mean that I'm a professional pull-upper. Okay, I'm going to keep on working on them. I want to be able to do more. I want to be able to do them faster. I want to be able to do them with weight. And if you're looking for a way to challenge yourself and also practice your pull-ups at the same time, I host free fitness and nutrition challenges all year long. The challenge for this upcoming May is a pull-up challenge where we'll be gradually increasing our pull-up reps throughout the month. And if you don't know how to do a pull-up yet, or you're just not strong enough to do a pull-up yet, you're still working your way toward your first pull-up, this challenge is still for you because you can do one of the modifications that I showed in today's video and you can still participate, and you know what? It'll make you stronger and make you closer to your first pull-up. So if you're interested in doing that challenge or any of the other challenges that I have planned for the year, I'm going to link the video with all of the details about the challenges right up here. You can see a list of all of the challenges for 2021 in the description box, and there will also be directions on how you can sign up for the challenge. Again, it's free, and I can work with you to find a modification that is appropriate for your fitness level. If you have other recommendations for skills that you would like to learn in my Like a Girl series, feel free to leave those recommendations in the comments below. You don't have to be a girl. Like I've said in the past, this video series is meant to be a skills session for everyone, no matter what their gender identity or expression. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. After all, I did do pull-ups at a public park in a floor-length frilly dress to make this video happen, so I'd really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I post videos every other Wednesday. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!